Good morning to you on this Sunday. I'm Stephanie Quinu, and thank you for watching Live Now from Fox. Time right now is 6:55 a.m. Eastern, 3:55 Pacific. And we start with some breaking news on this Sunday morning as a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas has now begun after a brief delay. These are live looks from across the region. On the left-hand side of your screen, that is a live look of Ofer Prison in the West Bank. This is where the first 3 hostages are expected to be released in just about 2 hours or so. We are going to continue to keep a very close eye on this, as you already see a security vehicle right there outside of the prison. And we will bring this to you as we are expecting the prisoners to be released in just about 2 hours. On the upper right-hand side of your screen, that is Khan Yunis in southern Gaza, a live look right there as you see some of the tents lining the streets. And then on the lower right-hand side of your screen, that is a live look from Hostage Square in Tel Aviv. There is a clock that indicates the number of days since the October 7th attacks, the number of days since the war began, standing at 470 days. We are continuing to follow the very latest after the long-awaited ceasefire in Gaza, now in place after a 3-hour delay, as Hamas has now named the 3 hostages it plans to free later on today. These are 3 female hostages, and our Fox News Trey Yingst also sharing the published list of names for the hostages set to be released in just 2 hours. You can see the 3 names right there on your screen. Israel, though, has not confirmed any of these 3 names provided by Hamas. Israel had vowed to keep fighting until it did receive the names, and that was the issue. That was the holdup for the 3-hour delay. Hamas not releasing those names. After they did, the ceasefire deal did begin. It started at 11:15 a.m. local time, and the first step toward ultimately ending the conflict and returning nearly 100 hostages abducted in the October 7th Hamas attack that triggered this war. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying earlier Hamas had not lived up to its commitment to provide the names of the 3 hostages that it was set to release in exchange for scores of Palestinian prisoners. The military said it would continue to attack targets in Gaza until the names were provided. An Israeli airstrike did kill at least 8 people in the southern city of Khan Yunis after the ceasefire was delayed. Nasser Hospital confirming the casualties from today's strike, which it said had occurred around 2 hours after the truce was supposed to take effect. Gaza's health ministry reported another 3 deaths from strikes on Sunday in Gaza City. Now, Hamas had earlier blamed the delay in handing over the names on, quote, technical field reasons. It said in a statement that it is committed to the ceasefire deal announced last week. We also want to let you know that the party of Israel's hardline national security minister said its cabinet members submitted their resignations from the government today in opposition to the ceasefire. The departure of the Jewish Power Party weakens Netanyahu's coalition, but will not affect the ceasefire. Now, the 42-day first phase of the ceasefire should see a total of 33 hostages returned from Gaza and hundreds of Palestinian prisoners and detainees released. Israeli forces would also pull back into a buffer zone inside Gaza, and Palestinians would be able to return home. And also that area would see a surge in humanitarian aid. Negotiations on the far more difficult second phase of the ceasefire should begin in just over 2 weeks. And of course, a lot of questions remain, including whether the war would resume after the 6 weeks first phase and how the rest of the nearly 100 hostages in Gaza would be free. We did want to let you know that we are expecting to hear from the Israeli government as they plan to hold a briefing at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. We will be bringing that to you live right here on Live Now from Fox. And coming up At 9 o'clock, we are expecting prisoners released by Israel as part of the ceasefire deal returning to the West Bank. And you're taking a look at Ofer Prison right there in the West Bank, all part of this ongoing ceasefire deal.